Hello and welcome to SortaOkay Reviews, where every fan's welcome. I'm Nathan Bedard.
I'm Brad Newton.
And today we're doing a little different video today. The 10 things we want to see in the Wano arc.
And forewarning, there will be spoilers if you're not caught up to the most recent chapter of the manga.
Yeah, so make sure you catch up, then come back and watch this video. We're about a couple chapters in. We want to express some things that we're hoping to see in the upcoming Wano arc.
Yeah, because Oda had compared this to Marineford, and Marineford is a lot of people's favorite arc, so we just want to jot down some of the things that we think that would be best for the arc. So let's go ahead and get started.
Alright, so number 1, Gear 5 Luffy.
Yeah, Luffy needs a power-up to fight on the Yonko level.
Yeah, we saw with Snake Man, he was able to contend with Katakuri. Maybe it was just the skill sets of that form. Maybe Gear 4 together, like
All
he
three of
can.
them combined,
yeah, he can take on a Yonko pretty much, but
A Yonko commander.
a Yonko commander. But he needs that next step up, and Gear 4 takes away a thing. I'm wondering if like Gear 5 is that last resort. Okay, I need this to fight.
I might die if I use this form.
I might die. Because I can't see... Like, Luffy has so much confidence in challenging these Yonko. I can't see him not, like, fighting Kaito without having, a level to where he can contend with it. Even if it's not Gear 5.
Maybe just like a hockey upgrade or something.
A hockey upgrade. And I do think, like a lot of people, Gear 5 will be the last gear in the cycle. And then after that, we might get another type of form, maybe. If not, definitely Devil Fruit Awakening, maybe.
Yeah. Alright, next one.
Alright, so number 2.
This one is The Grand Fleet Appears. So we're still in the cover story, surprisingly, for the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. That may throw a wrench in this, because Oda likes his cover stories to come back way later in the show, or in the series, but I hope that the Grand Fleet shows up to help with a fight against Kaito.
It would be cool. I think it's possible... Because if he was comparing it to Marineford, there's going to be this big war. Granted, they're going to have the Mink Tribe. They're going to have people of Wano. I don't know if necessarily they need the Grand Fleet.
I mean, if you don't need the Grand Fleet for Kaito, who do you need it for?
Maybe the final war that they contend in, maybe?
Maybe. But I'd like to see them show up at least twice, because if you're a Grand Fleet, I think you should show up more than one battle. So it'd be cool if you see it in Kaito and in the final battle.
If anything, maybe not all of them will show up. Maybe some of them will show up. Like, oh, we were around the area and we heard you needed help.
Yeah, and that leads into our next one.
Alright, so number 3.
This is the Worst Generation versus Kaito. Just like what we were talking about, I don't think the entire Worst Generation is going to show up, especially not Blackbeard. But I'm talking like
or
the
Capone.
original.
I don't think Capone's going to show up.
But like I think it's possible Capone should show up. But like the 11 supernovas that they showed back in Sabaody, I want like the majority of them in the fight against Kaito.
Well, yeah. Well, we know the 3 were trying to take on Kaito in that one that one chapter where he fell down.
Which was
Harpoon, Kid, and Hawkins.
Yeah.
Now Hawkins we saw is part of Kaito's army, but I think he's one of those people that will definitely break off from his
Drake
crew.
Drake also works for Kaito as well, so he's probably going to pop up at some point in this arc.
Drake, I think, is part of it, but I could see more or less Drake not getting. I think Kaito gave him a power boost, and I think he has become a Yonko commander level now. I don't see him maybe because you got Harpoon, Hawkins, Kid, Law, and Luffy. That's like 5. That's pretty good.
Are you talking about Scratchman and Pooh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Apu. Yes, sorry,
Yeah.
Apu. You got them 5 taking on Kaito. I think that is a decent amount.
I think the Mad Monk will show up too. Yaruj. We saw him standing in front of Kaito as well. I would like him. We know that.
We know Bonnie won't show up.
Yeah, Bonnie's not going to be there because Bonnie's at the Reverie right now.
Yeah, and I don't think Capone will show up because I think he did his thing in Whole Cake Island. So.
Well, if Jinbei's going to show up later, I can see Capone showing up, but we'll see when we get there.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, okay, if they take him on, and then going back to our first one, then Gear 5, Luffy comes out. That okay, they each did their all out blow to Kaito.
Yeah,
and then
Law hits him with everything. Kid hits him with everything.
And then it takes Luffy okay, I need to go Gear 5. I need to take him out, and that would.
Yep. All right. Number 4. This one is Kuina is alive.
Yes, so
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'll go. I've had a theory more or less that I think Karina is definitely alive. I think that bullcrap
The story
thing.
of her fall, a master swordsman falling downstairs. Granted, it was at the beginning of the series, so maybe Oda didn't know how to write like a backstory that great yet. But still,
Well, maybe that was the good thing. Like, I mean, come on. Like, she was training with Zoro. I mean, even at that Anya, I fell down a stairs.
yeah.
No, she was a great up-and-coming swordsman. Maybe, Wano country, it's the land of the samurai and stuff. Maybe they thought, oh, okay, maybe the master that lived there had a connection to Wano country.
Well, it's almost well known that Zoro's teacher is a revolutionary, because he's been seen talking to Dragon before.
Yeah, so maybe he has some connections to the Wano land, and they were like, okay, hey, we won't make you come back or something, but you gotta give us Karina. She's gotta be part of, like... And in the latest chapter, we saw that there is a female samurai. So maybe there's this, like, group, and maybe she's now leading that group.
It's possible.
But I think, if anything, she... it's just the way she, like, died, I don't think is true, and what better way for her to show up.
Yeah, it's also... Zoro's backstory is, I think, the worst backstory of all the crew members. And we've kind of been seeing these second backstories that the Straw Hats are getting, because Luffy got one with, the Three Brothers story. Yeah. Sanji got one with, like, the Man in the Iron Mask thing. So I think it's time for Zoro to get into the backstory.
Yes, and I mean, when you really think about it, all of the Straw Hat crew, like, out of anyone that would, like Usopp really can't really fit one in, because, I mean, he was pretty much just on that island. If anything, his father...
For Brooke, or with Frankie, because they had a lot of time.
Frankie, you could definitely do something with Frankie because we don't know anything about his real parents. But Zoro's like, yeah, he was just training these swordsmen. Like, where did he come from? Who's his parents? Because he's freaking strong. I can't just see some normal two people, and then there he is, a super, like, strong swordsman. So I think him and Queen, I think there's going to be that reunion. I'm hoping to see that reunion. And I think there's definitely got to be a Zoro backstory, because I think, people have stated that this is going to be his arc. So I just feel like we gotta, and especially, like, we got that backstory with Sanji now, we added more to Sanji, so it's like, he can't one-up Zoro, so Zoro's gotta get his thing.
Yeah, which leads into our next one. Go ahead.
Okay, so, number 5.
This one is Zoro versus the Shogun.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go. You take this
one. Zoro... I think he needs, like, a big fight, because I think Wano is going to be, like, if it's any Straw Hats arc, it's going to be Zoro's arc. So he needs a strong opponent, and they've talked about how the Shogun is, like, this all-powerful person who rules this land. So going through our Kuina story, maybe Kuina can't beat him, and then Zoro defeats him. But even if Kuina doesn't show up in this arc at all, I still think that's going to be his one-on-one fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if we, like, meet a whole bunch of characters, I mean, we know that Luffy and, like, the Worst Generation are going to have to focus on Kaito. And then you got, I don't think he's going to, a lot of people have been thinking he's going to fight Jack. I don't think he's personally going to fight Jack, because I think that's going to be that revenge battle with Cat Viper and Dogtooth, and maybe somebody else. And then, we're going to... I think there's two other Yonko commanders for Kaito that in the last chapter, we kind of got teased for. I think, the Straw Hat... the Straw Hat crew and some of the Mink members are going to, like, team up to fight those guys. And then some of the people we meet in Wano, like Kinemon maybe... Well, Kinemon and people we meet through Wano. And then, we know he has a bunch of subordinates, so, like, maybe the, like, rest of the Straw Hat crew. And, I mean, now Nami can hold her own. Now that she has Zeus, Soul of Big Mom, that she could definitely hold her own.
Yeah, so I just want... Along with Zoro having a fight, I just kind of want all the Straw Hats to have another fight again, because it's been a while since all of them have been together and they've fought.
Yeah, and Zoro really hasn't been tested. I mean, he did have to, like, do that new technique to take out Pika.
But he hasn't broken a sweat even, really.
He hasn't broken a sweat and really become bloody, and I mean,
he got a little bit of battle damage from Hawkins. That's because he was trying to protect Luffy and Otama.
Yeah, and, like, he can't go all out, and I think... Once we get to that point too, he might have some, like, new swords too.
Yeah.
And I
want Zoro just nerding out collecting swords this arc.
Yeah, I know. I want him to have, like, 10, 20 swords on his back. Just like, I'm just gonna ruffle through these. Like, it's gonna be a shoe rotation for the week.
Yeah, there you go. All right, number 6, Wano gets restored. So what I mean by this is we see like all the factories and stuff, and Wano is pretty much like polluted beyond belief. So I kind of want like once the resolution for this arc to be like the people get to like cultivate, they get to farm again, they get rid of all this pollution, and so because we've seen like these people like Otama's character, all she eats is like this gruely, like not even rice, this gruely stuff, and like she gets rice once for her birthday, and like in the latest chapter she got mochi, and she's like, this is the greatest meal I've ever had, and Luffy and Zoro are kind of like, man, like this kid's had nothing her entire life.
Yeah.
So like the lives of like the people in Wano need to get better.
And I think it has to get restored because I have that theory too, that I think, you know, the Minks are very connected with the Osuki clan in Wano pretty much, and you know, I don't think they're gonna be able to like live on Zou forever.
That's our last one.
That's our last one. But
So-
I do think that they have a chance to maybe live in there, and like anyone who maybe have a chance of living there, you can't live there if the land's bad.
So
I
yeah,
wanna
the
see.
land needs to be good. So so people, including the group we're going to talk about at the end, get there. So number 7, a new crew member.
Yes,
It's
so
been a while. If Jinbei doesn't join in Wano,
we need this. We really need this one because one, this, like I said, this is one of the biggest arcs we've had or we're gonna have in One Piece, and we kind of got shafted a little bit in Whole Cake Island because we really thought
Jinbei
was definitely joining
Yeah.
because we were like, okay, no. But when he started doing the helmsman,
Yeah.
he started.
he did the wave thing.
Did
like,
the
he surfed
wave.
the wave.
We found out his position and stuff like that. We were like, yep. And then at the end, very end, when he's like, I can't leave my crew,
Yeah.
we're like, okay, no, we need that final member, or we need a member. And I think,
Maybe even 2 members, because Carrot can join as well.
I like I said, I think especially with Pedro being gone, and if he's officially gone, she's gonna want Pedro wanted to go out to sea, so I could almost see her taking over his aspirations of wanting to go out to sea too and travel. And also she loves exploring. She's loved so far getting out and exploring new things, and she fits so well into the group.
Yeah. So yeah, and they need another female character too, which would be cool to have another female on the crew.
Yeah.
So, and maybe possibly even somebody from Wano that they meet can join too. But as long as Jinbei joins, I'll be happy. I'll be even more happy if Carrot joins as well. But we need a new crew member. And with a new crew member, we need the crew to reunite and do that toast to the new crew member. It's been a while. It's been years since all
Yeah.
the crew's been together.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see the crew back together because, like Oda said, it's gonna be like a big war like Marineford, and it's gonna be cool to see. Okay, you know, one big thing about that Marineford arc was Luffy did not have his crew there, and a lot of people say that if Luffy had his crew there, things might have definitely been different.
All right, number 8. So this one's a way more of like a funnier one that we want to see, a lighthearted one. And you go ahead and you can say what it is.
All right, so in one of the latest chapters, we saw this sumo guy talk, and this girl like, "Hey, marry me! I'm the best sumo wrestler." And you know, he's big like a sumo wrestler, but who else looks like a sumo wrestler? Jinbei. So it would be really cool if we got sumo wrestler Jinbei. Like you know, if he does come back and he's wanting, like, you know, gonna join the crew, that would be, I could really see a point in time when they have to go to a sumo match or they're fighting a sumo wrestler,
And no one like fits. No one could be a sumo because they're not big enough. And then that would be Jinbei's.
and that's when you see Jinbei come in and just be like, Luffy, Doro, and like just, you know, here's the top knot. It would fit well. It'd be really cool. I think that'd be a really cool scene.
That one's more of our more lighthearted things we want to see. All right, go ahead.
All right, so number 9, Edward Weevil I think will definitely show up. I think we've been teased this coming up from time to time, and you know, Marco said, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to Wano." I think Marco is going to go to Wano.
Something's gonna happen to the land where he was, and maybe he has to chase Weevil down to Wano.
Yeah, I think Weevil's gonna attack that land, head off to Wano, and like, yeah, Marco's gonna follow him, and I think we're just gonna get a little, or maybe Weevil's gonna go after Luffy.
And I was under the impression that there was no way that Weevil was Whitebeard's son, but apparently they say the mom, I forget her name, was on the same crew with Whitebeard. So it's possible. I thought it was no way. I was like that because she was so small. But you see the way that people age in One Piece.
Yeah, I mean, apparently, there was that SBS where, Big Mom actually didn't look too bad.
Yeah.
She went from that big blop character to a thin little woman. And even in his latest SBS, Dawn, the caretaker for Luffy, Sabo, and Ace, he did a young drawing of her. She looked hot too. It was man, they do not age well.
Yeah, so it's maybe except Boa Hancock. She's probably going to be the only one that ages well.
Probably.
We'll see. All right, last one.
All right, so the last thing we want to see, and I think this will cultivate a lot of theories and a lot of, I think, Zoe.
Number 10.
Oh yeah, number 10. I think Zoe is going to show up.
Mm-hmm. So this goes along with what you were saying earlier. So you want the Minx to live in Wano after it's restored.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit of the Minx story. This has to, I think, play along with Zoe. They're going. Zoe is so old. God forbid knows how long she's gonna still live.
Yeah.
And that'd be cool if she came in and attacked and sacrificed herself or something.
Well, I think they kind of set it up with it destroying Jack.
Yeah.
Because Zoe was the one that destroyed Jack's ship, and then so I assume Jack will reappear as well.
And with Wano in the state that it is, and being such we've seen two vast lands that are just nobody's living there because it's inhabitable, it's bad, it's poison, there's no food. Now if things got restored and back to the normal things, there's a lot of open land there, and the Minx can easily live there. And we know that Momo maybe at the end will be the new Shogun, and that could lead to the Minx and him.
Yeah, the big thing is opening the borders of Wano.
The borders of Wano.
Letting the Minx in will do that.
Letting the Minx in.
But I think that's going to do it for our Wano, unless there's something else you wanted to add.
An honorable late mention that I want to fit in there. We know that, Big Mom wants to fight Luffy, and, but Kaido's hey, don't come in. I think that I would love to see that happen, because I think that can fit still, because, she could show up, she could... they could do a team up at first, but then they could turn on each other, and then that's how maybe Kaito gets injured enough to where Luffy and them can fight him, and then they drive Big Mom out, and then that's when later out they fight Big Mom or something like that. I would love to see Big Mom show up, and that could also be how Jinbei comes back. So I think that'd be something fun, but I'd be okay if she doesn't show up either.
And then last thing that doesn't have to do with Wano, but I do want to see what happened in the Reverie. So that would be my honorable mention, because they were setting up something really cool with the revolutionaries invading, and then they would just cut away, and I was but I want to know what happened.
Yeah, and I do think that time moves way different in One Piece. We can get a whole 3 years of chapters, and it's one day.
Yeah.
The Reverie is a week long. I think that they are going to be all this event is going to
happen
over,
at the same time.
Is going to happen over a week's time, and then when they're done with it, we're going to find out. Boom! Oh, this is what happened at the Reverie. I don't think we're going to cut away in the middle to find out. I think we're going to find out after.
But I think that's going to do it for today's video.
Yep, that's going to be it. We hope you enjoyed this video.
And as always, you can hit that subscribe button right there, and you can check out one of our other videos right here.
Thank you much for watching, and we hope you have a good day.